I never wanted to be the person making a Section 8 horror story YouTube video, but here I am because this house has literally given me nightmares. Some of you will remember this property. I spent almost $60,000 renovating this house behind me and we're not even done yet. I got it a while back and we did a complete gut renovation. It was in absolutely horrible condition, but it became an amazing rental for me, except for the fact that the tenant I placed in it, I made a mistake and she was absolutely horrible. I will say not because she was Section 8, but just because she was horrible. And also, I found out yesterday that someone's been trying to steal this house from me. That's not an exaggeration. This is not clickbait. I'm gonna go into all of the details, but first I wanna show you guys what the property looks like now, as well as I gotta go say hi to the cleaners because it's actually one of my favorite contractors that I haven't seen in a while who's a part of this cleaning crew. Smart to lock the door behind them, I will say. For a second, I thought I wasn't recording. Look at how pretty this tree is. Like the pink flowers. I might have to call her. I hear some music. Hey, Brenda!
Hey, girl.
What's up?
Hey.
It's good to see you again.
I know.
How are you?
Who is this?
You hear the door knocking?
Hey, girl.
How you doing? Oh, I'm good, I'm good.
I'm glad to see you.
It's been a while.
Been?
I've been good, just trying to keep it going. How have you been?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yes.
Awesome.
You know, I see the transformation from this house. It looks much better.
It looks much better, right? From before.
Yes, I remember.
How's the cleaning going?
So far, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right now right here in the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Awesome. I'm just gonna take a quick video, walk around. I heard there were bugs in the fridge. Did you see that?
No. Let me double check. We haven't been in the kitchen yet. But,
Doesn't look too bad.
okay, yeah.
Oh, you see them?
Yes, right here.
Here, let me see.
But they're there.
Interesting. I wonder what type of bugs those are. Okay.
Yes. And then the oven is not clean yet, but it will be.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's really good to see you again.
I know. Yeah, when I saw your mom, I was like,
Did you recognize her?
at first, no. Because they look so young.
They
Oh my
do look
God.
young, right?
Yes, I was like, I really just try to remember. Then, whenever they came back, I was like, I know you. And she's like, I know you too. We're on the same page. Yes,
That's
and then
awesome. So this house used to be, oh, you guys are fine. Do your thing. Don't let me get in your way. So there used to be like closets right here. And then this used to be very closed off. So the kitchen was closed off. There was just a little door. This whole staircase had to be rebuilt because those stairs were absolutely horrible. Brand new bathroom with tile and a shower. This is one of the bedrooms. Nothing special, but a big transformation. We basically redid this entire property. These are the original hardwoods. Tenant scratched them up pretty good, unfortunately. Redid this bedroom. I'm just gonna squeeze behind you if you don't mind. Just take a quick peek. Oh, thank you. So one of the coolest things we did in here was like this big bathroom. Put the bathtub in, tile all around. Love that. It comes through to the master closet and then laundry area, which comes back out to the kitchen. And there's another bedroom over here. As you can see, well, I'll take you out back, maybe. But it's a giant AC and heat combined unit. I actually don't know what the heck the tenant did to bend the metal cage like that. I have absolutely no idea. But that's not super fun. Let's go out back before we go upstairs. Okay, so out here what's super cool is that this is a multifamily, so we turned to multifamily. This used to be a garage apartment. We completely converted it legally with permits, all the stuff we needed. And so that unit is still occupied, so I won't go all up in their space. But yeah, so they actually enter from the other side of the road. This is their back door. They have this little patio area, and then the front tenant has this patio area. And as you can see, that metal grate is like all bent up. I have no idea how or why, but that's annoying. Honestly, probably not something that needs fixing right now, but it's just like, why? Okay, then let me show you what the upstairs looks like and tell you, you're fine, don't worry about it, and tell you what made this tenant so bad. So she was on Section 8, so rent was pretty much taken care of. I think her portion of the rent was like $100 a month. So this is just a big 4th bedroom. The ceilings are kind of low, but I think she had one of her like teenage kids up here. So I don't know, this would be a pretty cool room for me if I was a teenager. There's a little mini split, so that's heat and AC there. Yeah, so her rent was paid. She paid her $100 or so. And then Section 8 paid, you know, the rest of the rent, which I think was probably like $1,500, $1,600 that Section 8 was paying. And she was only paying $100, which for most of my Section 8 rentals. And bye, Brenda. Bye. Great to see you. Same, girl. Yeah, thank you so much. So most of my Section 8 rentals are great. Nothing against Section 8. I will continue to rent on Section 8. But this particular tenant, even though she paid her rent, everything else was a struggle. She was responsible for lawn care as part of the lease. And as you can see, it's super, super overgrown. She just moved out. The neighbors would complain that it was overgrown. Her trash would be all over the place, to the point where the city couldn't even pick it up because it wasn't in the bins correctly or whatnot. It was just an absolute mess. And the straw that broke the camel's back was I had a neighbor. I always give, whenever I'm renovating a property, I always give the neighbor my contact information. So if anything's happening with the house, they can give me a call, they can let me know. And my neighbor calls me like late one night, like 10 something. And he's like, there's people digging in your yard. Like in the middle of the night, like the last couple of nights. I figured maybe the first night I didn't know, but you know, after a couple of nights, it's kind of like, what's going on? There's people digging in your yard. Like, who the heck is digging in your yard? I call the tenant, she doesn't answer. I actually was concerned that like, cause he said it was a couple of guys. I was concerned that like, she didn't even know them or she didn't know what was going on. So I actually called the police to do a welfare check, and the police called me back and say, hey, your tenant says those are people that she hired to do some plumbing work. And I'm like, what? There's absolutely no plumbing work that a tenant should be doing, especially in the middle of the night, from people that she hired. Like in our lease, any issues with the property, you need to reach out to us, we'll get it fixed, blah, 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 blah. So the next day I send my plumber by here and he's like, someone dug up your sewage pipe and it's cracked and there's raw sewage leaking into the yard. And I don't have any footage of that right now, nor would I want to show that. But I was out of town. Like I was dealing with family stuff. And so my plumber did a great job. He handled it. And we ended up talking to the Section 8 people. She was on a month-to-month lease. That was a clear violation of the lease as well. And so we ended up, you know, not renewing her lease for another month. She went to another property and we're getting this fixed up. But that bill was like $4,000. And it's just so frustrating because you don't make a ton of cash flow on these properties. Each month, you know, I'll have to look it up and I'll maybe put on screen what the rent was, what the mortgage is, and then how much we set aside. But like a $4,000 unexpected bill can eat up most, if not all of your cash flow on a property for the year. And it's just super, super frustrating, especially for something like so mind-blowing. Like why would you want to dig up a sewage pipe? I truly don't even understand what the rationale behind that could be. So there was already this huge thing with the tenant and getting her out. And then As we go to relist this property, my mom was helping me do some showings, and she says there's a bunch of people showing up looking for Cody. They said like Cody said to meet them here and that they needed to send a deposit and all this stuff. And we actually found out that there was someone who saw our rental listing on Zillow for this property, and they put up a very similar Craigslist listing and was renting out this property and having people call them. And basically what they were trying to do was get deposits from multiple people signing fake leases, and then they just don't show up. And what really, really sucks is that there was a guy who apparently was talking to Cody, sent him a deposit, got pictures of the house that were from my Zillow listing, not from the actual tenant, or not from the actual property. Like Cody never went into the property, obviously. And he moved. Like he moved out of his old property and came to this one.
This is not what a man do. It can't be possible. How?
I guess you could say like, don't move if you've never like been inside the property, yes. But also, I don't know if you're moving from out of state, or I don't know, I guess you're just really trustworthy. And there's nothing that I can do, right? I don't even know how to contact that person. It was just a neighbor who messaged me about it. But people are really out here scamming. People are really out here stealing rentals. You have bad tenants. Like sometimes this stuff is super frustrating, and it got me to thinking like, was it actually worth it? And there's two reasons that I'll tell you why my answer is yes. And I'm actually gonna be doing a live training. There's a link in the description for it. Whoa. Camera just broke. Well, it didn't break, but this is like a secondary lens I have. It just came off. Okay, I'll fix that later. Anyway, free live training coming soon. Date in the description. And it's all about how to go from where I started, wholesaling, house hacking, the entry-level real estate deals, into deals like this. Because even though there's much more headache with owning the property, there's much more upside, and that's the passive income, that's the cash flow. It's also the equity, right? I have a lot of equity built up into this property, and it's the opportunities that you get afforded when you own assets. Everything is getting more expensive, and a lot of people look at that as a bad thing, and it is a bad thing in a lot of ways. But also, when you own assets that also get more expensive and go up in value, that just means you get richer. And so that's why, even through all the headache of people scamming, of bad tenants, of all the work it took to get into this deal, it was so worth it to go from a wholesaler to actually owning the properties, owning assets, because at the end of the day, I could still get this property fixed up and back out there, back rented, as well as it still adds to my net worth, which allows me to get loans, which allows me to just have a safety net. As things get more expensive, I have an asset that's also going up in value and protecting me against inflation and emergencies. So that's why I say it's super, super worth it. So if you're someone who wants to learn how to do this, how to get rental properties, how to renovate, refinance, and repeat and recycle your money to go from something like wholesaling or driving for dollars to actually owning assets and getting cash flow and passive income, I'll put a link to that free training. You can come live if you catch this video in time, or you can catch the recording. Either way, it'll be the same link down below in the description, and I'll see you next time.